Hurricane Bob, now classified as a very dangerous hurricane.
We were watching the surge come in, and the trees were starting to fall and tumble.
It seems like yesterday to Skywarn spotter ML Barron.
I just about had a narrow escape to get out of the way. As everything started getting worse, the surge was coming right behind me.
A quarter century later, the memories are still fresh.
It's hard to believe it's been 25 years. And of course, this area of southeastern Massachusetts was the epicenter for Bob as it came up here.
August 16th, 1991, Bob developed from an area of low pressure near the Bahamas, strengthening into a tropical storm and then hurricane. 2 days later, Bob brushed the Outer Banks of North Carolina and then intensified into a major Category 3 storm.
Hurricane Bob continues its northward track toward New England.
Our Barry Burbank was in the WBZ Weather Center.
There it goes. There's the eye of the storm.
As on August 19th, Bob made landfall not once, but twice as a Category 2 storm. First on Block Island, and then in Newport, Rhode Island.
Dozens of power and sailboats snapped away from moorings.
With Bob, I was impressed with its power.
Hurricane force winds battered the south coast, Cape, and Islands with a peak gust of 125 miles per hour on Block Island.
I was afraid.
Charles Orloff had been walking home in Yarmouth when he had to take shelter behind a roadside wall.
There were things blowing all over the place. Limbs and trees were coming down, and it was wild.
From Buzzards Bay to Cape Cod, the surge, waves, and wind left significant damage.
The sun was coming out, and that's when people started to go out, and then you started to digest for days and weeks the kind of destruction that took place.
Hurricane Bob caused substantial damage.
More than $1 billion worth in Massachusetts alone.
Governor Weld toured the area with federal officials.
Devastation Hoppy Hobson saw firsthand as a Fairhaven police officer.
All these telephone poles were gone. There was no electricity. Part of the causeway was washed out. You couldn't drive over it.
Some power outages lasted for months.
Businesses in the height of the tourist season are in the dark.
Whole houses would come off the foundation, and I think a couple were in the street.
One of them, owner Ronald Manzone, seen here, was picked up and moved across the causeway.
The cottage started to shake, and all of a sudden, it popped up like a buoy. It just went poof, right up in the air.
He had spent 8 months renovating his family's property and had just completed work 3 days earlier. This was what was left of his uncle's cottage next door. It didn't survive either.
I'll be honest with you. I couldn't drive down here for a couple years. Still breaks my heart to drive by.
On Cape Cod, the pounding wind transformed the landscape.
I could not believe what I saw. Every tree on this hill had been destroyed. Mid-Cape lost 250,000 trees, they estimate, and it changed the look of the Cape really forever.
Lasting impacts of a storm that left an imprint on those who lived through it.
This hurricane, I'm going to be honest with you, it was an education. What I actually saw, believe me, I'll never forget every second of it.
Mother Nature on the wrath should be respected, and if you don't respect it, sooner or later, it'll educate you the hard way.